Welcome back, Love Nation. This is Nina. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We are now in chapter 16 of reading the Justin Baldoni counter lawsuit against Blake Lively and what is alleged to have happened on the set of It Ends With Us. Again, make sure you thumbs up this video, share this video, and share your comments below. And here we go, chapter 16. At 9:43 p.m. Eastern on December 20th of 2024, TUI requested plaintiff's response to its reporting regarding a crisis communication operation conducted on behalf of Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, and Wayfarer Studios to protect their reputations and harm Blake Lively's as described in a legal complaint filed today. TUI wrote in part, "We are seeking your response to the claims of retaliation through this PR campaign, and we will welcome the opportunity to talk with you on the record. Please offer any on-the-record comment as well as any other information you think we should know. Additionally, please notify us of any inaccuracies. We need to hear back from you tomorrow by noon Eastern." At 2:16 a.m. Eastern, plaintiff's legal representation responded as follows. "It is shameful that Blake Lively and her representatives make such serious and categorically false accusations against Mr. Baldoni, Wayfarer Studio, and its representatives as yet another desperate attempt to fix her negative reputation, which was garnered from her own remarks and actions during the campaign for the film, interviews, and press activities that were observed publicly in real time and unedited, which allowed for the internet to generate their own views and opinions. These claims are completely false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious, with an intent to publicly hurt and rehash a narrative in the media. Wayfarer Studios made the decision to proactively hire a crisis manager prior to the marketing campaign of the film, to work alongside their own representative with Jones Works employed by Stephanie Jones. Due to the multiple demands and threats made by Blake Lively during production, which included her threatening to not showing up to set, threatening to not promote the film, ultimately leading to its demise during release if her demands were not met. It was also discovered that Blake Lively enlisted her own representative, Leslie Sloan, with Vision PR, who also represents Ryan Reynolds, her husband, to plant negative and completely fabricated false stories with media, even prior to any marketing had commenced for the film, which was another reason why Wayfarer Studio made the decision to hire a crisis professional to commence internal scenario planning in the case they needed to address. The representatives of Wayfarer Studios still did nothing proactive nor retaliated and only responded to incoming media inquiries to ensure balanced and factual reporting and monitored social activity. What is pointedly missing from the cherry-picked correspondence is the evidence that there were no proactive measures taken with media or otherwise, just internal scenario planning and private correspondence to strategize, which is standard operating procedure with public retaliations professionals. At 10:11 Eastern on December 21st of 2024, the Times published an article. Notwithstanding the Times was made aware of egregious defamatory allegations contained therein, it proceeded with publication without further inquiry. Indeed, in its rush to publish a one-sided, unsubstantiated story on behalf of Blake Lively, the Times got it dramatically wrong The aftershocks have been disastrous for plaintiffs, and they now, reluctantly and knowing the damage cannot be fully undone, bringing suit to hold the Times accountable for its egregious misfire. Next section. First cause of action, libel, plaintiffs against all defendants. Plaintiffs incorporate by reference each and every allegation set forth in paragraphs 1 through 119, inclusive as if set forth fully herein. As alleged herein, on December 21st of 2024, the Times published an article. The article purported to detail a campaign allegedly orchestrated by plaintiffs to tarnish Blake Lively. It did so chiefly through the selective disclosure of private communications allegedly exchanged between plaintiffs. Persons who read the article reasonably understood the references to Baldoni, Heath, Sarowitz, Abel, Nathan, and Wallace and their respective companies to be references to plaintiffs herein. The article contains fabricated, false, malicious, and defamatory statements of fact concerning plaintiffs. The article is libelous on its face and exposes plaintiffs to hatred, contempt, ridicule, obloquy, causes plaintiffs to be shunned or avoided, and has a tendency to injure them in their occupation. Specifically, the article falsely attributes negative public sentiment toward Blake Lively to be malicious, premeditated, affirmative smear campaign orchestrated by plaintiffs, and not to Blake Lively's long-standing reputational challenges and the whims of a fickle and sometimes cruel online public. The article advances its false narrative by cherry-picking out of context and in some cases doctored private communications never intended for public disclosure or consumption to advance a highly inflammatory, one-sided narrative, plainly designed to villainize plaintiffs, manufacture an impression of impropriety where none exists, and grossly exaggerate plaintiffs' control over online public opinion or the tone and tenure of press coverage, particularly with respect to an enormously well-resourced A-list actress with her own pit bull press team. The article also falsely portrays plaintiffs as motivated to harm Blake Lively, as unlawfully obtained communications demonstrate. However, that is flatly false. Plaintiffs' motivations were defensive in nature and driven by the valid concern that Blake Lively's team had been seeding stories critical of Baldoni and Wayfarer. The Times, without elaboration, dismisses this concern as baseless, treating plaintiffs' candid, private discussions, which were never intended to see light of day, as if it were a press release. In fact, as the Times should know from the voluminous confidential communications it apparently has attained, plaintiffs' concerns were not baseless. Plaintiffs are informed and believe and base thereon allege that defendants and each of them portrayed plaintiffs in this manner, knowing that the portrayal was false or with reckless disregard for its truth or falsity. This is apparent because, per the article, the Times reviewed, among other documents, thousands of pages of text messages and emails. Defendants, therefore, had access to documents and communications sufficient to refute its portrayal of plaintiffs. Indeed, the totality of the communications obtained and reviewed by the Times, when not spliced dishonestly, cherry-picked and stripped of critical content, refute the article's premise that plaintiffs were responsible for negative public sentiment toward Blake Lively, and the implication throughout the plaintiffs were motivated to harm Blake Lively and engaged in unethical behavior to do so. Defendants knew that their portrayal of plaintiffs were false, incomplete, misleading, and highly inflammatory. The actual malice of defendants and each of them is evident from their deliberate decision to publish the article without having afforded plaintiffs a meaningful opportunity to respond, verifying authenticity, accuracy, and completeness of the communications relied upon, or ensured even modicum of impartiality, skepticism, or even handedness when covering highly inflammatory allegations they knew could destroy the reputation and careers of plaintiffs. As a direct and proximate result of the above described by defendants and each of them, plaintiffs have suffered general and special damages in the amount of not less than $250 million, including damage to plaintiff's reputation and standing in the community, shame, mortification, hurt feelings, embarrassment, humiliation, damage to peace of mind, emotional distress, and injury to their occupations. Although the full context, nature, extent, and amount of these damages are currently unknown, this plaintiff will be amended at or before trial to insert such information if such amendment is deemed necessary by the court. Plaintiffs are informed and believe and based thereon allege that the conduct of defendants and each of them was malicious, as that term is defined in California Civil Code Section 3294 as follows. A. Plaintiffs are informed and believe and based thereon allege that defendants and each of them depicted plaintiffs in a defamatory manner in conscious disregard of plaintiffs' legal rights. B. Plaintiffs are informed and believe and based thereon allege that defendants and each of them intended to injure plaintiffs by the defamatory statements in the article. Defendants' conduct warrants an award of punitive and exemplary damages against each of the defendants. We will conclude chapter 16 and we will go into the next section after we take a short break. Again, this is the end of chapter 16. We will be back shortly with chapter 17. I want you guys to like, share, and subscribe. Thumb up this video. This is a lot of reading, you guys. This is a lot. But there's a lot of information in this lawsuit, and I definitely want you guys to comment on Blake's speculation of what happened, and I want you guys to pair that with Justin's allegations. Like, share, subscribe, you guys. Be safe until next time. Enjoy your day. We will come back very shortly. Bye, guys.